From Waiter to Wealthy. By Aaron Foster. Chapter 1. The Mindset Shift. It's a Friday night, and you're in the weeds. The tickets won't stop printing. The host just sat 3 new tables in your section, and one of your regulars is flagging you down for just one more thing while the kitchen is crashing. You haven't eaten, your feet hurt, and your phone keeps buzzing from that pesky bill collector. Rent's due. Your kid needs new shoes. You check the tip from the large ticket you just closed. Barely 13%. You're disappointed, but still, you keep moving. Keep smiling. Keep grinding. You keep a positive attitude. The next 2 top just came from a nearby art exhibit, and you have a brief but thoughtful exchange about the scene in your city. They also love the way you presented their whiskey sours. Luckily, they tip enough to save your night. You share a couple drinks and complaints with some coworkers at the nearby bar after close, and you head home early because you're about to do it all again. You work a double the next day. That's the job. You know how to make it happen. But behind the hustle, there's a quiet question. Is this it? Maybe you've told yourself, once busy season hits, things will be better. But busy season never quite seems to be worth the hype. And slow season is borderline depressing. You find yourself wondering, how can I progress my life under these circumstances? Maybe you pick up more doubles or take that promotion. Maybe you pick up a second job. Even when you're making ends meet, you're working so much and dealing with so much that your health and relationships are suffering. You're considering perhaps getting that real estate license and escaping the restaurant industry altogether. Sound familiar? The restaurant and bar industry certainly teaches skills that are applicable to all kinds of professions, so if you feel like that sales position at the car dealership would be a good move for you, go for it. But what if I told you those same skills could be used to build higher income and significant personal wealth from right where you're at? If you have the opportunity to escape the industry, as they say, I would encourage anyone to explore their options and choose what is best for them. However, this book isn't about leaving the service industry. It's about shifting how you view your role within it. It's about reevaluating the worth of the tips and wages you earn. It's about seeing the relationships you build in that building as potential assets. It's about creating a plan and strategy to improve your lifestyle and financial health without waiting on that big tip, that promotion, or that better job. I'm here to tell you that you have everything you need right now to begin paving your path to the lifestyle of your choosing, to financial freedom. Yes, I said it, the cliché phrase. But when I say financial freedom, I don't mean you'll necessarily be driving a Porsche while pretending a stack of cash is a phone, although that may very well be your future if that's what you desire. What I do mean is that you have the means by which to start creating significant savings, investments, and income outside of your job, right now. These things provide you more freedom of time and of choice. Imagine you lost your job today. Wouldn't it be a relief to know you had a few months' worth of bills saved, and you also had a side business that could generate income while you find another job? You go home to regroup and think. Imagine checking your investment account and seeing a small investment you made some months back is doing unexpectedly well. Wouldn't it feel good to know that your money is working for you even when you aren't? Since you wouldn't have to rush into another job when mediocre opportunities arise, you could comfortably say no. Maybe you even take a quick trip while you have the free time. When an opportunity that is congruent to your life and goals arises, you fully pursue the new endeavor without the weight of financial worry hindering your performance. This, to me, is the beginning of financial freedom. The opposite of financial freedom is wanting to take that trip, wanting to spend time with your family, wanting to work on that creative project, wanting to pursue your dream career, or wanting to contribute to your community, but barely having time to because you always gotta work. Yet, with all that work you've been doing, you're not much better off than you were last year, or the year before. And the job that gets more of your time and energy than your own family does would have you replaced in a week if for some reason you could no longer show up and make them money. That, to me, is financial servitude. All due respect to your job for providing you with the opportunity to pay your bills. But you deserve better than that for yourself and from yourself. You deserve your time. You deserve your family. You deserve your mental and physical health. You deserve to be handsomely rewarded for your talents and abilities. And you deserve to not just hope for the life you envision for yourself and your family. You deserve the assurance that your hard work, discipline, and skill will indeed manifest precisely the life you see and desire for yourself. That type of abundant lifestyle isn't reserved for the owners of your restaurants or the people you serve. It's for anyone with a willingness to work, learn, plan, save, and invest. Believe it or not, that includes you. By the time you finish this book, you should know and understand that even if your tips and wages are meager, there are steps you can take to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. We will talk about how you, as a server bartender, can realistically enter into the world of Wall Street, real estate investing, business, and more. But first things first, we need to make sure your mind is in the right place. You have to understand that you've been influenced by a culture of consumption. Everywhere you turn, everything and everyone is competing for your attention and convincing you to spend your hard-earned money on things that do not retain value. This cycle of mindless spending may provide some temporary pleasure, and it certainly makes you a useful battery in the matrix, but it also keeps you tethered to financial stress. To break free, you'll need to challenge your habits and reframe your thinking. The first mindset shift, from consumer to investor. Most of us are taught to spend the moment we earn. In the service industry, it's easy to get caught up in the cycle of spending money almost as fast as you make it, especially when you consider our tendency to frequent other restaurants and bars. Tomorrow is not promised, so by all means, enjoy your life. Spend your hard-earned money on whatever makes you happy. Just understand that every dollar you spend is an investment in someone else's business. Wealth starts when you make the decision to take a portion of your earnings and invest in your own business. In case you didn't know, you already own a business, and it is your last name. Make contributions to the health and well-being of your business every day, just as you make contributions to your physical health and well-being every day. There's nothing wrong with having a slice of pizza from time to time, but if that's all you ate, your health would likely suffer. Similarly, if all you do is invest in other people's businesses and you never invest in your own, your financial health and potential is likely suffering. Start that savings account and start investing in yourself today. Time is money as well. We are conditioned to spend the money we earn, but we are also conditioned to freely spend an even more valuable asset, our attention. Like money, you only have a certain amount of attention to spend per day before your time and mental funds are drained. Spend them wisely. An investment into your business doesn't have to be monetary. You can invest your time and attention into your loved ones, educating yourself, creating art or content, or fortifying your body and mind. Nothing wrong with enjoying some YouTube or TikTok from time to time, but if all you do is consume content and never build, learn, or nurture anything of value, it's time to re-examine your attention diet. Start consuming less and start making more investments with your finances, time, and attention. The second mindset shift, from employee to entrepreneur. Even if you're clocking in at someone else's bar or dining room, you can start thinking like a business owner. You already are one. Your time, skills, and energy are your product. Your income, your bank account, your credit. This is your business, and you are the CEO, making decisions every day. The goal is to manage your time, your business, your product, your income, and your assets like an enterprise. You don't need a degree or a trust fund to be the CEO of your life. You just need to start thinking of yourself in that way, like the rich, savvy business owner version of you. Let's begin by tackling some internal beliefs that may be limiting you. Breaking the myths. Myth number 1. I don't make enough to invest or build wealth. This belief keeps too many people stuck. You don't need to wait for the right income to begin. Wealth is built by showing up consistently, even in small amounts. If you can save $5, you can invest $5 with apps like Robinhood or Webull. It's not about the amount, it's about the habit. You can begin to directly affect your wealth today, not by making more money, but by changing what you spend it on. With a smartphone and a bank account, you can literally start investing today. The wealth gap in this country is growing. In this economy, investing isn't just a luxury, it's a necessary survival skill. You don't have to just sit back and watch the rich get richer. You can choose to attach your finances to the big money, or you can choose to continue spending it on things that hold no value. Your choice, what to do with that $5 today. Myth number 2. Money isn't for people like me. If you didn't grow up around wealth, it can feel like a foreign language. But financial success isn't about where you're from. It's about what you do next. Money responds to habits, not heritage. The moment you believe you're worthy of financial freedom, you start moving toward it. Keep in mind, you are who you hang around. I'm not going to tell you to cut your friends and family off, but I will say that if you hang around 4 people with poor financial health, you will likely be the 5th. Get cool with people who are financially secure. The energy will rub off. You'll know when you've gained great momentum on this journey when you realize that most of your friends are your mentors. Myth number 3. I don't make enough to save. You don't need to make more money to start saving. You need a mindset shift. The first thing you need to do is break the habit of spending money as soon as you get paid. Instead, save first. But I have bills. That's poor. Trying to stop you from getting rich. It's going to be hard at first, but you are going to have to ignore that voice in your head. Do what rich you would do. Pay yourself first. Start with 5 to 10% of whatever you earn. Many banks even allow you to do this automatically. If you can live off 100% of your income, you can live off 90%. The bills will still be there, and they need to be paid. But now your future self is getting paid too. Think of it like tipping yourself. I like to tip myself handsomely, 20% or more when I can. If I take home $100 cash, $20 goes in the shoebox before I even have a chance to think about it. If I get a $2,000 check, $400 automatically goes into my savings. Then I pay my bills and live life with the rest. Once you build the habit of budgeting, living below your means, and paying yourself first, even just a little bit, you will be delighted to see how quickly your savings grow. More importantly, you will be making an investment into your future. Myth number 4. You need to go to college to be successful. College can be great, but it's not the only way to win. In fact, many people with degrees are buried in debt, while others with no degree are building thriving businesses or investment portfolios. What matters most is what you do with what you have. Furthermore, education is widely available on almost any subject. If there is something you wish to be more knowledgeable or skilled with, you have the ability to create your own specially curated curriculum. You may decide to pay tuition and earn a degree or certification. Or you may decide to read books, watch YouTube, and follow a mentor. Either way, there is no excuse for being uneducated. College isn't for everyone, but don't let that be an excuse for not developing your mind and achieving success. Even having a degree doesn't guarantee success. You still need to develop a business and growth mindset. Always be, at the very least, a student of your chosen craft. Redefining wealth. Wealth isn't about cars and designer brands. It's about freedom. It means being able to take a week off without falling behind on rent. It means breathing room when your car breaks down or your kid gets sick. It means choosing your schedule instead of begging for time off. There's a key concept you want to keep in mind: your magic number. That's the monthly amount of money you need to generate consistently outside of work to cover your monthly bills and expenses. That number varies by person, but whatever that number is for you, reaching even a portion of that number means you've achieved a level of financial freedom. Accomplishing this task is probably a lot more realistic than you think, and it opens the door for you to spend your time and attention in more and more valuable ways. You may dream of making 6 figures per month one day, but it may only take an extra $1,000 per month to significantly improve your quality of life. Maybe for you, that's booking a few private events or selling some products online. Financial independence doesn't require millions. Once you redefine wealth as freedom, not luxury, you start seeing opportunities everywhere. My story is still being written. I'm not coming to you from the finish line. I'm still in it. As I write this, I still bartend. I still make drinks for tips. What do I know about finance, right? I'll be the first to tell you I'm no financial expert and I don't claim to be. But I can say this with full confidence. The habit of saving and investing completely changed my life as a bartender, and it is continuing to do so. If you work in the service industry, I firmly believe the information presented here has the potential to change yours as well. Before I started investing, I lived paycheck to paycheck like many people do. 1 year after many years of feeling like I was spinning my wheels, I made a New Year's resolution to commit to a consistent saving and investing plan no matter what. I had been paper trading stocks and options for a couple years, and I felt like I had a strategy that would work as long as I stayed disciplined to it. I started putting the bulk of my extra income into the market. Even though some of the people closest to me tried to convince me I was making a mistake, it ended up being one of the best decisions of my life. A few months into it, I had amassed more money than I'd had in years. In my mind, I was plotting my retirement from the restaurant I was at. Then, disaster struck. Later that year, out of nowhere, I faced a major medical emergency. A freak accident. It's a little personal, but let's just say I had a major injury that needed to be urgently addressed. Fortunately, I had an emergency fund saved, but by the time the issue was resolved, I was nearly wiped out financially. It was slightly discouraging to have made all that progress and find myself right back where I started, at zero. However, I still had the knowledge, lessons, and experience I'd gained from the disciplined trading and investing I'd done that year. I rebuilt faster than I did before, and I've kept going. Something that could have been a major life and financial disaster ended up being a minor speed bump on the road. That experience showed me that building financial habits isn't about getting rich. It's about having resources and being ready for when life inevitably happens. It's about being stable. It's about having the tools and structure to build security and freedom in your life, even during times of uncertainty. If you work in the service industry, I believe you already have these tools at your disposal. The service industry advantage. Working in restaurants and bars gives you more than just tips and income. It gives you some viable tools to build a foundation for your business and brand. Fast, flexible income. You get paid frequently, and that cash flow is a real asset if you learn to use it with intention. People skills. You're constantly reading the room, adjusting your communication, solving problems. These are high-level business skills. Endless promotion opportunities. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was, make sure anyone who knows you knows what you do. The service industry gives you a built-in audience. Use it to talk about your side hustle, your business, or your goals. When appropriate, of course, you never know who's listening. A training ground for growth. One reason I became a bartender was because I read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I wanted a job where I could practice some of the principles I'd read about and step out of my naturally introverted nature. To this day, that book still influences my interactions with my guests and coworkers. I've been able to turn my service industry job into a classroom in interpersonal connection, body language, sales, conversation, psychology, and conflict resolution. Not to mention, you get to see the inner workings of a business, especially if it's a smaller company. Pay attention to the way systems and trainings are structured. Get to know the vendors and reps by name. The experience and relationships can prove useful later down the line. You already have what it takes. The trick is learning to use it on purpose. Here's what we'll cover. Strategic employment for the person still looking for a stable home base to make money. Aligning your job with your long-term financial goals and personal growth. Maximizing your time at work. How to maximize income by treating each shift like a business, sharpening skills, building relationships, and leveraging your talents into opportunities to earn outside of work. The importance of intentional saving. How and why you should be saving, regardless of your income level. Marketing and branding. How to attract and secure private clients for your side hustle, using mobile bartending as an example. Getting into investing. Basic, low-risk strategies and actionable steps to begin actively putting your savings to work for you. Credit building and debt repair. An investment with guaranteed returns. Additional wealth vehicles and opportunities, exploring entrepreneurship, real estate strategies, and self-investment. Every chapter is another step forward on this journey. There will be milestones along the way, large and small. You don't have to master everything at once. The important thing is making that first decision to start your wealth journey. That means you've begun to adopt the proper mindset. Let's wrap this chapter with a question I love to ask people. Assuming you have an unlimited bank account and zero chance of failure, what would you do with your life and time? The most common answers I get to that question are paying debts, making purchases, and traveling, but those things can be accomplished in a short amount of time. I'm asking what you'd do with your life after that. Remember, no chance of failure, and you already have unlimited money, so you don't need to work. What would you do with your life? Let that marinate. After some digging, I usually find that people wish to use their God-given gifts and abilities to be of benefit to something or someone outside of themselves, whether that is your family, a cause, or your community. Perhaps you'd be an artist, or a minister, or a coach, or a community leader, or a more present family member. Sometimes people know what their answer is immediately, and sometimes people have never asked themselves this question, and they need time to ponder. But after we arrive at a more definitive answer, I always ask, what's stopping you from doing that right now? The most common answers I get are money and time, so then we have to break that down. Is money really stopping you? How much would it really cost? Is there a way to creatively finance it? And how much time and money do we spend on things that truly and utterly have nothing to do with what we claim to want out of life? The conclusion of the conversation is always the same. Nothing is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you from doing this thing that you just framed as something you could only accomplish with unlimited money and no chance of failure. Whatever your answer is to this question, let it sit with you. Really picture it. Write it down, even. That's your vision. That's your why. That's your higher self. Every step we take from here is about moving in that direction. Life is choice-driven. Every morning, from the moment you wake up, you have a choice to make the decisions your higher self would make or not. Each day, take just 5 minutes to do something, anything, that aligns with your vision. Building that habit is how you begin to become the person you imagined when I asked that question. It's how you manifest your higher self into existence. This journey isn't just about how much money you can make, it's about who you become in the process.